Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to a one-off. This is it. This is the sponsor. The sponsor, Ewin Gaming. All right, so let me just kind of tell the story first, and then we'll get into it. Okay, I'm going to give you the good and the bad. I'm gonna give it all to you. Okay, and so I'm gonna just be honest about what this is now. First of all, Ewin Gaming is basically I'm not sure if it's even a sponsor per se. I don't think I'm going to be getting paid for any of this other than getting the free gear. So I got the gear. I'm going to say what I think, and you guys will get the discount code of Larry's Hair at checkout for 20% off on their stuff. So okay, so let's dive into it, shall we? So I'm going to kind of give you kind of a virtual unboxing of what I kind of experienced. And if you'll notice the tile in the background, that comes into play. Just bear with me. It contributes to the negative aspect of this chair. So first of all, the chair that I picked, I was offered a desk or chair. I've got a nice desk setup, so I don't need the desk. Very kind gal, name is Cherry. She's over at the Ewin Gaming place, and she offered to send the chair if I would just simply do a review on it, and in exchange, you guys get that 20% discount. So opening the box, standard kind of thing here. There was a little box damage on the outside. I didn't take a picture of it, but I can't really blame them on that. But there was a gash in the box, but it didn't affect the contents at all. But it's a pretty big box. So if you're going to be ordering something like this, it's going to come in a big box. And this happens, I just happened to pick this one because it was a pretty chair. And I'll get some close-ups of some of the finish, the gold on here. The finish is just beautiful, right? But it turns out it's a heavy-duty 550-pound capacity chair. So I've got room to grow into it, right? But it is big. It is kind of like the arms kind of stick out nicely. It kind of gives me some room, and it has 4D arm rests on it. And I'll kind of explain that in a minute. So if you're looking for a chair, if you're looking for gaming, this might be something for you guys to look at. So this is the basic contents of what I've seen. And then, of course, moving on, the instructions were really straightforward for the most part, but some of the pictures didn't coincide with the actual chair that I've got. I'm mechanically inclined anyway, so it's just kind of fairly easy for me to kind of navigate through it. I kind of was kind of neat that they had a little bit of a better looking assembly thing than just something that's just like a little simple piece of paper showing you the instructions. I think that was well done, but I think that, you know, they either need to have all of the instructions uniform, right? So it's kind of uniform for every chair, or it can kind of throw somebody for a curve that may not be mechanically inclined. So that's one thing that I thought the instructions were well written and looks good, but not always completely compatible with the actual mechanics of what you're going to be dealing with on the chair itself, right? So moving on, basic components. I do have to say, even though the casters look kind of standard, they're legit. Like, they're really nice. They do have some of the chairs that have casters that don't have a centerpiece, is like a hole through the caster itself. But the casters are really high quality, and they, you know, I can move around here, and it's almost like it has like I don't hear a lot of grind on the caster and tile itself. So it just feels good. Who knows what they're going to say about the hydraulic piece, if that's ever going to fail. You know how that goes. Sometimes you have a chair that slowly goes down as you're in it. So far, so good. There's been nothing of that. And they even give you kind of a pair of gloves, as you can see in the thing. They just kind of like, they roll out the red glove treatment on the actual components itself, and the way they kind of present it with the gloves and all the packaging and all that they kind of pay attention to is kind of nice. So moving right along, the actual support for the chair and legs. The chair that I've got, that I've been using forever, this guy, right? I mean, you can hear this hardly makes no noise. This one does, and this is like a $300 chair. And the actual base is molded plastic on this one. This is actually welded metal. It's actually a metal base, and it's very, very, I mean, you could probably withstand a bomb blast. The thing is rock solid as far as the base is concerned. Now, the chair itself, you know, the upper part of the chair, this is just as I was unboxing it, that top part where the holes are here, you know, you can actually thread through a headrest that they give you, or you can loop it around the top part of the chair here, right? And just strap it up here if you want to kind of have it higher up or lower in the back section. And then they also have a pillow-sized piece for your lumbar support on the bottom. I don't like it. It just, the chair itself feels just rock solid. I feel like I'm in a cockpit of a race car. It just feels like the flanges of the way that back seat supports, just like a normal gaming chair, right? It is kind of feels like you're being embraced by the chair, both in the seat and the back. And the stitching is impeccable. Like I went through with a fine tooth comb, looking at all of the different seams of everything, and it's literally made really top notch. We've had gaming chairs before. My son has one in his bedroom that he still uses. This one is night and day, way better than his chair and any gaming chair we've had in the past. It's just the memory foam is a fairly firm, so it doesn't feel like you're sinking into the chair so much. So it does have a bit of a, I don't know, just a firm but giving seat and back, that it doesn't make you feel like your butt's going to go to sleep or your back's going to go to sleep. It's just a very nice feeling chair as you're sitting in it. Very comfortable. So I would probably give it higher marks. I mean, this is kind of like the Mercedes-Benz quality of a gaming chair over standard ones that we've had in our family in the past. So it has that for it. But look at the tile around that picture. You see that tile? Let me get to that in a minute. It's going to contribute to the negativity of the chair. All right. So here's the base of the chair, and you can see the armrests here, and I'll give you a closer picture of one of the armrests in a second. But again, you know, those flanges on the seat itself kind of help support you, and the armrests are 4-dimensional, and I'll show you what that means. It's really kind of a cool thing. I'm not sure if this is kind of a thing for gaming chairs at all, but for this chair, I kind of found that I've come to fall in love with that aspect of it, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So here's the underside of the seating, and you can see those green straps. I think that's just for additional weighted support. I can't think of another reason why it's there. On the upper right-hand side, you see that little handle piece. That's where you've got the, you know, seat to go back and forth. And this seat, I won't show you here. I'll fall on my butt, but it will recline almost all the way down. It's really pretty cool. So it does have a wide range of support, whether how forward you want to sit or back. It's great. And I did lean it all the way back a few times. It didn't fall down, but it just, you know, who's going to game like that unless you've got the, you know, computer screen on your ceiling. But it does give you the option to be able to go way back in the chair, and it seems to, you know, be fairly stable doing that. My wife kind of freaked out seeing me do it. She goes, "Oh my gosh!" She goes, "No, it's fine. It just comes right, no problem." But look at the tile. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so moving on. Here's the armrest. So the armrest itself, I'd have to say, it's not a hard plastic. It's a very soft, not soft. It's a giving, pliable surface, but I would have to really push down on it hard with my thumb to make an indentation. So it's not saggy, but it's also not just a hard piece of plastic. It's just really comfortable. And that button on the top, in the front there, that little round button, if you push it, it moves I can't show you on my camera, but it moves the armrest forward and backward, right? And then the little button in the middle there on the left, kind of that little rectangular button, I push that, and then I can move the armrest out this way, okay? And then on the other side, which is not shown, has the normal adjustment. We can go up and down. So it'll turn and lock in place at different angles as well. So you've got the up and down, left and right, forward and backward. I mean, you've got all of the, and left and right. You basically have all dimensions of this armrest, it won't, you know what I mean? It won't go askew, right? It'll just stay flat, but you've got all this maneuverability with it, which is kind of nice. So reason why I really like it is that the way my setup is here at my desk, I can have like one of my armrests a little forward and the other one aft. And then the one that's forward helps me support my arm as I'm using the mouse and on my keyboard. It just has that extra little bell and whistle that this little guy doesn't have. This guy, he does have, this armrest is broken, but it does have, this guy does have the ability to go up and down. Forget how. Anyways, but it has the ability to go up and down, but this is highly more adjustable to kind of fit your comfort level, okay? Next, kind of going on here, but this is kind of a picture of the pillow that you'll get. And then, of course, it has a lumbar support as well. And each of these have different abilities to be able to unzip them, take the covers off. They're washable. You can put them wash and then put the memory foam back in. And, it's kind of a nice feature. I do see on the back of this chair, there are some zipper kind of seams that look like a zipper, but I didn't find the head of a zipper anywhere. I was kind of wondering if there's a way that this can just be easily, removed and washed as well. I couldn't see anything here, but it's kind of nice that the headrest and stuff can be cleaned. It's a little extra feature. This is a picture of the color in outside door light, just to give you a better visual of the finish of the chair itself. It's got the texture feels like a very soft, low grit sandpaper, but not abrasive. A sandpaper may be the wrong, because it's not smooth. It's not like smooth like silk. It's got a bit of a texture on it. It's not uncomfortable at all. It just has that texture, and none of those gold flakes, I can rub against it and you're not going to get the gold flakes on your hand. It's not like that. But the chair itself was really well made, in my opinion. And then this is just kind of like, again, outside, just kind of showing you the chair itself in all of its fine glory. Okay, so now, scale of 1 to 10. Okay, now I'm going to give this chair a solid 9. I don't know if I can come up with a 10. There's a few things that I think could be problematic, and that's why I'm gonna give it a demerit of 1. I was sitting in the chair, and I was sitting back like this one day, and I sat on the edge, and I'm going to try and demonstrate this real quick. And I leaned forward. I went down. Now that was just kind of like I was trying to do it on purpose. So, but it kind of, the wheel kind of caught the, I did that just for a laugh. The wheel kind of caught one of the grouts in the tile, and then the back end of the chair just slipped out, and then the chair went down, right? So this one is for up to 550 pounds, and it's solid. It's heavier. It's a heavier chair, and I think that when you're sitting on the front edge of the cushion, right, it will, and if you kind of like sit on the edge and then scooch forward, if the wheel catches in the tile, you just got to make sure you're in the seat. You just kind of like, I can even sit forward a little bit and move forward. No big deal. It's great, but I went down. Then my wife did the same thing. She sat on the edge of the chair. She was kind of like sitting on the front edge of the seat, doing some work, reaching over, and then the chair caught my tile on the ground, and then the chair went out underneath her as well. So I'm not going to demerit the chair for that per se. I get it, because it's a heavy-duty chair. It's got a heavy-duty base. The circumference of the base is like any other chair itself, but this one, since it's made for a larger person, I guess, which you can see, I mean, imagine I'm 6'3", 280 pounds, 320 pounds. There's a lot of room in this chair to grow in, right? So, but if I, just being kind of a lighter guy, well, not so light, well, bigger guy, but you know what I'm saying? Like the circumstances that I was sitting in the chair, I had that issue. So I'm going to give, I'd hate to demerit the chair on that, because while the chair might be top heavy or front heavy, or however that would help attribute to it possibly being off balance, it doesn't feel that way. It feels rock solid. So don't let that scare you. I over dramatized the slip just now, just to kind of like for comedic relief. But for me, it was just kind of like, it's like, oh, it slipped, and it's like, ooh, and then I caught it. And I just kind of like got back down. And I was fine, but I just, the chair was going to go down on me. So anyways, with that, I have to give a full double thumbs up on it. It's a great chair. The gal at the e-gaming, Ewin Racing, just basically offered this in exchange for a review. So, and you guys get that 20% off. So would I recommend this chair? 1,000,000%. Would I recommend it if you have tile, slick tile in your kitchen, and you're 190 to 200, and you're slipping around on this chair, and you're trying to, you could go over, it could, I guess any chair could, if you really think about it. This guy, he's never done that. You can sit on this front end of this chair. You can sit right on the very edge and scooch forward, and you're never gonna have to really worry about it. But you can tell that this chair that I've been using is lightweight. It's nothing compared to what this guy is, right? So I just have to get used to it, I guess. So again, would I recommend it? 100,000,000%. I cannot fault the chair's features, comfortability, ease of assembly. There's one screw that I had a hard time getting in, because the fabric, I think, was kind of in my way. I kind of struggled with that piece, but overall, it's just a normal, what you'd expect assembly of any kind of chair you'd encounter. And so they are a bit on the pricier end. This chair, I think, ran a little over $400. So if you figure, if you get 20% off, that puts a chair in a range of an affordability feature that's not going to be able to easily be matched anywhere else with any other kind of gaming chair. I did some price comparisons on Amazon. This seems like their gear seems like it's a little bit, it's definitely in the higher end on the cost, but the quality is there. And I can tell, unless the hydraulic piece starts to wane a bit and you start to slowly go down over time, if that happens, I'm going to have to just replace that piece, right? But so far, no problems. It seems perfect to me. It's just kind of funny that both my wife and I had the same problems on our tile. Again, I'm not going to fault the chair for that, but it's something to be considered if you are going to be buying a chair like this that happens to have grouted tile or an uneven surface you'd be sitting on. You don't want those casters to have any reason to stop for any reason. So with that, it's not really a sponsor. I said it's a sponsor, but I'll take the chair. I mean, it's a beautiful chair. I'm going to be very happy with it. And let me know, you guys, if you happen to go kind of venturing out. But if you're looking for an office type gaming chair, and their desks, they look nice. They have a lot of LED desks and light up. And if you go to their website, you can kind of see what they've got. They gave me an option, and I just chose the chair, of course. But it looks like they have some pretty nice gear there as well for desks. So check them out. If you like them, great. If you find something better or cheaper that you can deal with, that's, not going to maybe have the same bells and whistles, that's also an option as well. But this one, you really can't go wrong unless you've got tile.